Razed settlements in Elsies River, Delft, Imi-zamoYethu, Mfuleni and Vrygrond. The latest fatality was a young man who lost his life in a shack fire at an informal settlement in Hout Bay. That fire early yesterday morning destroyed more than 500 shacks and left approximately 1,000 people homeless. It was the fourth fire at Imi-zamoYethu this year. In another blaze at the weekend, 26 shacks burned down at the KTC section in Khayelitsha. Well, for more on that, we're now joined on the line from Cape Town by Councillor Benedicta van Minnen, who's a mayoral committee mayor for the Department of Human Settlements in the city of Cape Town. Good afternoon, Councillor, and thank you for your time on the News Today desk.
Yes, good afternoon.
Councillor, these shack fires really a reoccurring tragedy. What's been done right now to alleviate what's become very much of a perennial problem?
Well, currently what we're doing is obviously dealing with the current situation in Imi-zamoYethu, where 241 families were affected by the fire that we had on Saturday night. We are meeting with the community about how we're going to move forward to ensure that we try to prevent this. Ultimately, what we need to do is make sure that we have fire breaks, that we have materials that can resist fires, and that we engender behavior with people that also reduces fire risk. So this is part of an ongoing communication with people across the city, and obviously particularly in communities that have just been affected by fire, so that when we rebuild, we can ensure that there are spaces that can act as fire breaks.
Is it not time, Councillor, that we start to implement plans to reorder these settlements with better spacing to prevent such fires? I mean, overcoming the city's spatial segregation and legacy is not something done, we can understand, in a few years' time. But is it something you are considering at this point?
Well, it is very much something we are busy doing in Cape Town and have already instigated. So we have both the situation of reblocking, which is when we reorder the shacks within the footprint of a community, as well as in situ upgrades for informal settlements. The constraint with the reblocking is that we don't want to move people away from where they're living. So what we do is we have a process negotiated with the community where we reconstruct and reorder structures within a footprint of a community, so that we can then bring in fire breaks, that we can bring in safety corridors that would then prevent fire spreading.
Councillor, there was a lot of talk about a home emergency kit for shack dwellers, plastic sheetings, a door, nails, etc. What's the status of these kits in Cape Town right now?
Okay, Cape Town is the only city in the country that currently is distributing the enhanced emergency kits. In the last 8 weeks, we've issued more than 800 enhanced kits at a cost of more than 4.2 million. Now, the kits include nails, poles, galvanized corrugated steel sheeting, a door with a lock or padlock, and a window. So we distribute these to victims of fire so that they do have a basic structure to be going on with, to thus make sure that they have something to be living under and have shelter.
Councillor, very quickly before you go, there is quite a widespread perception out there that those in the corridors of power respond with more speed, more zeal, if you like, to a small fire in an affluent area, for example, like Camps Bay, than much more destructive fires in our shack settlements. How do you respond to that one?
Well, the fire department obviously has a turnaround time to get to fires. In the particular case with Hout Bay, I mean, the area that we are talking about is virtually adjacent to the fire department, and the fire department was exceptionally good at getting to the fires. The problem being that when you have fires in shacklands, it spreads incredibly quickly, and it's very flammable. So particularly when you have wind, the speed at which a fire will spread through a community is remarkable. Whereas when you're looking at private homes in suburbs, obviously, there you have larger breaks around property, so it tends to be isolated to single fires.
Thank you. That was Councillor Benedicta van Minnen, who's the committee member for the Department of Human Settlements in Cape Town. Well, let's move on to some other news now.